Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, May 3rd. I've got a couple of great folks joining me today. Our interim secretary of the DHHR, Dr. Jeff Coben, is on with us today, and the secretary of the West Virginia DEP, Harold Ward. So let me just get through this and go through it as quickly as I possibly can. But the DHHR, the news of the day, and then there's you'll have Dr. Coben to answer questions and everything. But I have proclaimed May, in the month of May, as Foster Care Month in West Virginia. Everyone knows the battle we have with our foster children and everything from the standpoint of trying to do more and more and more of the right stuff for them. There's 6,200 kids that are placed in out-of-home care in West Virginia, but we lead the country in seeking our relatives to take care of these kids. Over 55% of the children in foster care are placed in a relative's home. Families can absolutely shape and help these great kids and everything, and there's families of all sizes that are participating. But so the purpose is this month is meant to strengthen and hopefully uplift our children, as well as the professionals that work all the time to make all this happen. I think we're making real headway, on this front. But Dr. Jeff Coben is joining us today, and Doctor, if you could speak in regard to this, that'd be really good.
Thank you, Governor. I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for joining DHHR and our partners to recognize and elevate Foster Care Month in West Virginia. At DHHR, the Bureau for Social Services is committed to ensuring that all West Virginia children in out-of-home care and their families receive adequate support and appropriate supports to services to best meet their needs. And to accomplish this, we really rely on the entire community, families, volunteers, other members of the community who help children and youth in foster care find permanent homes and connections. And these individuals, as you mentioned, Governor, are really making an impact on lives of children and families, and I want to join you in honoring and recognizing their efforts. Those who are interested in fostering in West Virginia, fostering a child, can contact our partner, Mission West Virginia. The Mission West Virginia really does facilitate matching families with children in need. I would also add that we're looking forward this week to working and joining with Chestnut Mountain Ranch in a summit that they're convening that will bring national leaders in foster care to West Virginia to learn more about what we're doing, and that we can learn more about incorporating best practices to help support foster care families as they support our children. So I want to thank you in that regard as well. Back to you, Governor.
Okay, Doc, thank you so much, and thank all those that are putting in the licks to make this just better and better. I've got some revenue numbers to report. We released them, I guess, yesterday, and or day before, rather. I'm sorry. And what an announcement! I mean, gosh, it's I don't know anything to say but wow. If you really think about, I promised you this rocket ship ride, and if you don't think we're on it right now, then you must be living in a cave. That's all there is to it. But we've sure got a bunch of folks out there that we can still help and everything. But just think about this a second. In the month of April, we collected $319 million in excess of what we projected in 1 month. The personal income tax collections were up $192.8 million above what we projected. So now just think about this. Just think about it. From year to date, right now, we're at $1.585 billion, billion with a B, above what we projected. We've got 2 months left. In those 2 months that are left, if things continue the way we're going now, we'll surpass $1.8 billion in a surplus in West Virginia. Now just think about this a second. What does that really mean? I mean, the zeros are so many, it's hard to comprehend. Well, think about this. When I walked in the door, what was the rainy day fund in the state of West Virginia when I walked in the door? I'm going to guess that it was somewhere around $700 million. If that be the case, we have grown in 1 year 2.5 rainy day funds that we took decades and decades and decades to get across the finish line. 2.5 rainy day funds in a year. And not only that, we absolutely got through the largest tax break in this state's history tenfold. $750 million will be going right back to you. Absolutely, this state's really cooking. And absolutely, with all in me, I believe if we don't get in our own way and do something that is completely stupid, this state will continue on this path for a long, long, long time to come. I thank everybody. This has been anything but just the one Jim Justice show. You had to have a coach and you had to have a leader of the band. But with all that being said, I thank our legislature. I thank all West Virginians that get up every single day and grab their dinner buckets and off to work they go. Because at the end of the day, they're the reason. They're the reason. They believed. And with all that being said now just look. Now just look. We have a diversified economy. We have not forgotten, nor should we ever forget, all of our fossil fuels and absolutely what they mean and what they will continue to mean for decades and decades to come. Anyone that believes this day and time that you can do without fossil fuels in this world is completely a total idiot. Now, we want to embrace the alternatives, but at the same time, we want to try to grow our fossil fuels in West Virginia. So with all that being said, there is so much going on, whether it be what we've done with high tech or higher ed, or absolutely with tourism in our parks. Tourism is exploding in West Virginia, and it has such an upside right in front of us, it's off the chart. So with all that being said, I thank all of our cabinet secretaries, all the people that work in government, all the people that work in my administration. Boy, they've done really, really, really good. So let's all just keep pulling the rope together and continuing to make more and more and more good things happen. We got a lot of good things on the horizon. Some way, somehow, we did it in COVID. We pulled the rope together. We stayed together. And look what the results were. It could have been super catastrophic. Yeah, they were tough, sure. But absolutely, West Virginia, the third oldest state, the state with the #1 most illnesses of any state, absolutely located where everybody was driving through West Virginia, located within that rock's throw of 2/3 of the population. Absolutely, it could have been a catastrophe beyond belief. You did really good. You know, from the standpoint of the decisions that were made to protect the CARES money, look after the counties, from the standpoint of the decisions that were made to be the first in the nation to start vaccinating those that were in our nursing homes. We knew what this disease attacked. And primarily it was our old people, and we moved. We didn't sit around thinking about it. We moved. We had the greatest experts around. Dr. Marsh, Dr. Hoyer, General Hoyer, Dr. Amjad, Secretary Crouch, so many that were there and stepped up to really help. And I could never, ever thank them enough. Great news on the revenue. Let's just keep it going. And absolutely, we should not, for any second in the world, take this for granted. Does anybody absolutely step back and think, if the economies of our state were poor, the services have got to be cut. So many things absolutely are then going to be poor. The economies are solid, and as they're solid, we can do more and more and more and more to help folks. Okay, we've got several proclamations in the month. We've got, 3 that I want to tell you about right here, but we've got the National Small Business Week. First I proclaimed this week as the National Small Business Week. West Virginia's got 98% of its businesses are small businesses. And absolutely the impact of what they do every day and the impact on our economy is off the chart. So let's celebrate the National Small Business Week in West Virginia as one of our proclamations in this month. The next one is the Mental Health Awareness Month. So many issues that people are having to deal with today. We didn't have to deal with this kind of level of pressures and issues growing up. Absolutely, this social media thing has just exploded beyond belief. Absolutely whether it be the wokeness stuff that I think is completely crazy and everything, or all the pressures that are on our kids. Absolutely, with all in me, I can tell you that for the most part, if diagnosed properly and treated properly and everything, the mental illnesses that we have or that are driven from pressures or whatever they may be are curable. And so why don't we celebrate trying to do more and more and more about, helping people that are having a tough way to go. The last one is Celebrate Nurses Month. I mean, good gracious. Just go back in the middle of the pandemic. Think of the nursing shortage that we had. Think about the shortage of folks that could help and treat people and keep beds open in our hospitals. Think about what we have done on the initiative in West Virginia to really ramp up, creating and basically manufacturing more and more and more nurses. We've put real dollars into the programs. And with all that being said, our universities and colleges are absolutely working towards training and pumping out more and more qualified nurses in our economy every single day. Can anybody in their right mind step back and say, no one would have ever really thought that the nursing shortage would be as acute as it really is? Well, when that happened, it brought a lot of awareness to us. We should absolutely celebrate Nurses Month in West Virginia and continue to do more and more and more to absolutely have more qualified nurses, trained nurses that can be there for all of us all the time. I want to salute, the legislative members that just got back from Taiwan and everything. I'm sure that they enjoyed the trip. They learned a lot. They absolutely brought a lot of goodness, back to our state and everything. They cut a ribbon over there, with members, several different members of our team from the state and everything. They did a ribbon cutting ceremony to open the West Virginia Taiwan office and everything. Basically, it is a way, if we get out and we go and we market ourselves and everything, it is a way to attract more and more business opportunity to come right to West Virginia. I think, while they were there, they visited South Korea and Japan. as well. And you know, I want to just read this to you. Companies from 33 countries have now invested billions of dollars in West Virginia, and those companies in West Virginia employ 30,000 West Virginians. So we celebrate. I think, you know, there were several other members. I just saw, you know, Daniel Linville there outside, but Secretary Carmichael was there, Director Mike Graney was there, House Speaker Roger Hanshaw, and Senate President Craig Blair were all part of the ceremony. And so I thank them for going. I applaud them for their achievement, and we just hope more and more and more growth will come from a tremendous American ally, Taiwan. Okay, tomorrow is the National Day of Prayer. I don't know how it gets any more important than this. It's a really, really special day, and it's been with us a long time, you know, and I'm going to read just a couple things to you, but it's the National Day of Prayer, when people of all faiths come together to pray for our world and our nation. From the beginning of our country's history, we have turned to God in times of need, seeking guidance, protection, and hope. And in 1952, Congress recognized the importance of this day, passing a law that affirmed our right to pray in public gatherings. And ever since then, we've come together on the first Thursday of May to exercise that right and share our faith. So tomorrow, if you would, please join me at noon. I'll participate in the National Day of Prayer, you know, services that'll be on the Capitol steps. You know, I'll surely look, you know, for you to join me, and if not, join me in prayer. It absolutely is so important, so important. Your prayers will be heard. Absolutely, without any question, they'll be heard. Thank you so much. In regard to another incredible, you know, part that we're going to be doing today is this. We're going to have our today at just a little past noon, and we're trying to hustle along here and everything. I will join the West Virginia Department of Homeland Security to honor 7 West Virginia first responders with the inaugural Medal of Valor Awards. It is an extreme honor to recognize these individuals who gave all that they had in every way to serve and protect our communities. The West Virginia First Responder Board, you know, was created within the West Virginia Department of Homeland Security. The purpose of the award is to recognize the honor that the first responders that basically ran to the fire. They did everything in the world to help us and everything. Today we're honoring 2 active members, and we're honoring 5 that gave their lives serving and protecting us. So, you know, big deal, big deal. Now, a little bit of a lighter note. Saturday, I guess, is the Kentucky Derby. And Baby Dog's not with me today. She's out of gas. She just absolutely is worn out. And but she did tell me that she is predicting 2 horses. One is Tapid Trice, and the other is Angel of Empire. Now, Tapid Trice is a 5-to-1 favorite, and Angel of Empire is an 8-to-1 favorite. Baby Dog says Tapid Trice will finish second, and Angel of Empire will win the Kentucky Derby. I wouldn't bet all the money in the world on Baby Dog's prediction on the Kentucky Derby, but she's pretty dadgum good on the Super Bowl. Last thing I've got is the DEP AMLR grants and everything. We've got, you know, Secretary Harold Ward and maybe some other folks with him, but we're basically, you know, giving away or recommending $25,966,183. It's going to go out, on these grants, for on abandoned mine lands and reclamation, and so really, really good stuff. And but Harold, if you'll come on and tell us more, please.
Thank you, Governor. The Ambler Grant Awards Program is it's Treasury money made available through the Department of Interior and the AML program. And over the last 7 years of the program, West Virginia has received more than $181.6 million in monies awarded for economic development projects on sites that were associated with mining activity that occurred prior to August 3rd, 1977. So with that being said, we have six considerations this year, and the applicants are selected by a committee. DEP participates in that, but we also have our colleagues with Commerce, Department of Transportation, and special consideration given to tourism. Chelsea really helps out a lot with making recommendations and providing some guidance for us to consider, and of course the staff here at the Governor's Office. This year we have 6 award recipients, and Governor, I'll turn it over to you unless you wish me to announce them.
Okay, first in Tucker County, we have the group of co-working Synergy Center and Apartments. It's $727,000, and the attendee today is Dave Clark with Woodlands Development. And here you go, Dave. I hope you're on. Maybe you'll talk to us.
Hey, I'm on, Governor. Thank you very much. We're very excited about the project. I think it'll be a great asset for Tucker County. We're ready to get started.
Fantastic, Dave. That's really good and everything. You've got Tucker County's really growing. A lot of good things going on up there. We can just make it better and better. And now in Mingo County, the Cinderella Adventure Resort, $3,080,886. The attendee today is Ruffner Woody. And Ruffner, if you'll come on and talk to us about it and everything.
Well, thank you, Governor, and many thanks to the West Virginia DEP to be selected as an award winner for this year's AML grants. And this means, a lot to our company and to Southern West Virginia. And we really look forward to moving the needle on tourism in Southern West Virginia.
No, Ruffner, that's, you're already doing it, but this is just going to do it more and more and more. But, it's just great stuff. Here's one in McDowell County, and this is for the Range 1 training facility. It's $2,058,050. The attendee is Ronnie Wright from Range 1. And Ronnie, you can tell us about this great project.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor, for having us on. And thank you for recommending Range 1 for the Valor program there. To kind of give it an overall viewpoint of it, it's a 950-acre outdoor recreational training facility located right here in the often looked McDowell County. Facilities, main infrastructure where the AML fundings were going to be pushed toward to finish out the main operations, building 13 tourism cabins, a rough terrain, orienteering course and builder survival area, as well as the firearms training ranges that'll be offered for civilian law enforcement and military use. To kind of touch on a little bit of the economic growth it's going to bring into McDowell County, which McDowell County being the lowest earning county in the state, it should give us an influx of $2 million in the local economy in the first year with a multiplication factor added on yearly. We're looking at bringing in about 2,500 new visitors per year, which is going to create 36 new jobs directly associated with the facility, with another 60 jobs indirectly associated. Governor, we can't thank you enough and your team there with the DEP for recommending this first project. We appreciate it.
No, Ronnie, thank you, and thank you for all you've done, all you're continuing to do, and great project. Okay, the next one's in Wood County, and this is Mount Wood Park Trail Center and Campground, $2,600,247. Jeremy Cross from Wood County Parks, the Wood County Parks Director, is going to talk to us.
Hello, Governor Justice. This is Chris Swore. I'm speaking on behalf of Jeremy Cross. I'm president of Wood County Parks and Recreation Association. And first, on behalf of Mount Wood Park and the citizens of Wood County, I want to thank you very much for your selection, as well as your administration and the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection for their assistance with this process as well. And we're very grateful for the AMBER program to help us secure our mine portals and to further economic development in Western West Virginia, especially the outdoor recreation sector. We're looking forward to successfully and as expediently as possible implementing this grant. And again, we're deeply appreciative.
No, sir. Thank you so much. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, this is also in Tucker County. This is the Davis Center headquarters facility. This is the big one. This is $12,500,000. Rich Flanagan from Western Pocahontas Properties is going to be with us.
Governor, thanks for having me today, and we sure do appreciate the AMLR program and being able to help address some of the immediate short and long-term needs for housing within the greater Davis and Thomas areas there in Tucker County, as well as helping the local communities with some infrastructure deficiencies that they're currently experiencing. And we just, we can't be excited enough, and just thank you for the opportunity and your team for this, to bring this to the individuals in Tucker County.
No, you guys just can't. I know what you're doing. You're doing great work. Just keep going, because I'm telling you, it's going to be unbelievable. And great job. Great job. Okay, this one's in Harrison County. It's a Stonewood I-79 development, $5 million. The attendee is Wayne Stanley from Shiloh Development.
Thank you, Governor. I want to thank you and Harold Board and the committee for selecting us. What we're aiming to do, this money will allow us to take an old abandoned strip mine, and Governor, I like to call it surface mine, but this was actually a strip mine, and develop it into a usable land that will benefit the local community and the environment. And it's located along I-79.
It's great stuff, sir. Great stuff. And Secretary Ward, thank you. Your team does phenomenal work, and you just keep it up. You're doing a great job, and I really thank you. Not only you're a friend, but you're a great man doing a great job. Thank you, sir. I think that's all I've got for right now. We'll take your questions now.
All right, thank you, Governor. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with W News. Governor, I have a revenue question for you. You had previously said that you would support additional reductions to the personal income tax, if the numbers were going in the right direction. What does this April set tell us about those future plans? Thank you.
Charles, I don't think it can tell us anything except goodness. That's all there is to it. But the primary folks, our Speaker and our President of the Senate have been in Taiwan doing great work there, and I haven't had the opportunity to discuss all this stuff with them, but we'll be doing that in the very near future. And it's just great stuff. I mean, Charles, we want to be conservative and not get out over our skis, but absolutely, without any question, we're going to be able to benefit the people of West Virginia more. Now, are we going to be able to benefit more on additional tax relief immediately? Well, I don't know. We'll have to have a lot of discussions about that. I can tell you, the more we lower the taxes, the more people will come. That's all there is to it. It's as simple as that. And so, where I stand. I stand, the more aggressively we can lower our state income tax, there is nothing, guarantee, there is nothing that will drive growth to this state more than that. No way. But we want to be smart about what we do. We want to be conservative about what we do. We surely want to walk before we run. And so, Charles, we'll have a bunch of discussions soon, but it's great news.
All right, thanks, Charles. Next to Mark Curtis with Next Star Media.
Good afternoon, Governor and fellow reporters and staffers. Governor, I have a related question to Charles because this past Friday was payday at all of our Next Star Media TV stations in West Virginia. And to a person, everybody noticed there was more money in their paycheck. So we checked with the Department of Revenue and wondered, have the tax cuts now gone into effect? And indeed, we were told by the Department of Revenue that the new tax tables had been sent to every business in West Virginia, and that caused the taxes to be adjusted and therefore the increase. What do you think the short-term impact is going to be of that and the long-term impact? And when will we see, if you know, the money we were supposed to be retroactive back to January 1st? When will that money be received by taxpayers, if you know?
Mark, I'm going to defer. I'm going to get our tax people on here. Probably have to go the next time and everything to catch up the back half, the last part of your question. But Mark, listen, here's the bottom line. I mean, in all honesty, we ought to sit back and absolutely, as those paychecks come in, and you recognize right off the get-go that your paycheck's higher. The first thing we ought to be doing is we ought to be applauding all the work that not only this office, the legislature has done, but absolutely all the work that you and all the hardworking people in West Virginia have done in pulling this rope together to make that become a reality. It's surely a feel-good moment when you see the first time it happens, and it happened as just as we told you that it was going to happen. This isn't going to take forever to become a reality. We told you that we could move very quickly. And by dog it did, didn't it? Now, with all that being said, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with that? Well, the reality of the whole thing is all of us, I don't care who it is, all of us, when we have more money, we spend more money. And as we spend money, it becomes a multiplier effect. And whether that multiplier effect on every dollar that's spent becomes 10 times, 14 times, 4 times, whatever those multiplier effects are, that is the dollars just spending in our own economy. Mark, I'm telling you, there is so many positive aspects of this, it is totally off the chart. With all that being said, don't you think people on the outside are looking at West Virginia and they're saying, well, dag, let's think about this place. This place has 4 of the most beautiful seasons on the planet. It's got low crime. The people are faith-based. The people are absolutely believers in doing what's right and wrong and not just what they can get by with. The people are craftsmen. The people are neighbors. The people are good. And absolutely, we're within a rock's throw of 2/3 of the people in this whole country. Why not look at West Virginia? And lo and behold, by dog, they're not only doing all this stuff, they've got the lowest property taxes in the land without any question now. Now they're starting on a pathway to get rid of the personal income tax in West Virginia. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Absolutely. And when they come, then that's more and more and more people contributing in the pool. Mark, there's so many things here beyond that. There's so many things here in the fact that $750 million is going to come back. That's a rainy day fund. That is an equivalent of a rainy day fund that we took decades to build. We're going to give a rainy day fund back to the hardworking people of West Virginia every year. And that's not if we don't do more. Mark, I'm telling you that in itself will become our own incentive program within this state. There's so many things, my goodness gracious, this will really put us on a great pathway. So anyway, sorry to go on and on, but that's That's the best I can tell you.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next to Randy Yohe with West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Governor, regarding that surplus announcement, the folks at the West Virginia Center for Budget and Policy say your record levels stem from intentionally keeping revenue estimates low before you draft a budget. They say many states, when they do revenue estimates, do a consensus forecast involving tax departments, universities, economists, legislators. I guess my question is, do you keep your revenue estimates low, and should there be more sunlight and involvement shed on setting revenue estimates?
Well, there's, Randy, listen, there's all the sunlight in the world, from the transparency of what we're doing. I welcome that in every way. But Randy, I'll tell you just this. You're going to have a hard time trying to convince Jim Justice that not being frivolous and wasteful is not the way to have gone. We didn't need to grow government and throw money away and become wasteful just because we had money. Nobody that minds the store the right way does those kind of tricks. I'm not a party to that. Remember, I'm a business guy. I'm a business guy with a lot of business knowledge. There's no way on earth I'm going to be anything except really proud that we took care of the store the right way. Absolutely, we took care of our counties the right way. We have given significant pay raises 4 times. And this state's cooking because we didn't go throwing money away on frivolous projects and then stand around like California would do and stand around and say, we don't need Jeffro Bodine moments. We needed just good, sound, absolute decisions, and that's what we did.
All right, thank you, Randy. Next, we'll go to Stephen Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yeah, Steve Adams of Ogden Newspapers here. You brought up this being foster care month, and I kind of wanted to get your take a little bit too on some of the actions over the past couple months. We obviously just had a legislative session. A lot of bills were introduced, a lot of bills were signed. But do you think you did enough in regards to foster care issues? I know some of this is being taken care of administratively by Dr. Coben and DHHR. But, looking back, can you point to any legislation that you introduced that would have provided some improvements to the foster care system to try to lessen that number? I know the legislature certainly had a couple bills, but one was foster care ombudsman. The other was the bill dealing with, among other things, an increase in the abortion tax credit. But can you point to anything from the session that might improve and lower those numbers of foster care children in the system? Thank you.
Well, Stephen, first of all, I want Dr. Coben to come in and talk, about this more than anything. But Stephen, here's the whole thing. There was a hoopla around DHHR, and let's split it up. Let's split it up and do this and that and everything. And the reality is just real simple. DHHR and the people at DHHR, we're already doing a lot of really, really good work. But we can improve it. And so the legislature was on their path to doing everything, and what we did is just work together with the legislature. I came out right off the get-go. I came out and said, look, if we can make it better, absolutely, I'm all in. Absolutely. Charlie Trump wrote me a letter and everything in regard to the Child Protective Services or the workers. And I absolutely talked to you about it, in one of the briefings. And because I thought it was a great letter. I think the world of Charlie Trump. Senator Trump is a superstar. And absolutely, we took his recommendations, ran with them and everything. And so all I'm ever looking for here is solutions and everything. And I think we're making headway. Would I like us to make headway faster? Sure. But I do think we're making headway. And maybe Dr. Coben, maybe you could add some stuff to that.
Yeah, thank you, Governor. So I'll just add that beyond the legislation, Our goal from the beginning has been to really focus and strengthen our child protective services agencies, our foster care system, and really our most vulnerable citizens across the state. And I think that we've really had some strong positive momentum and continue to build on that momentum. Just since January, we've hired 40 new CPS workers throughout the state. We've also signed up over 50 students from colleges throughout West Virginia to come and participate in an internship program at DHHR this summer. It'll be the first time that that's occurred. We've reallocated funds to further support our child care providers for families across the state. We're working really closely with the Foster Care Ombudsman's office that was mentioned. We're working very closely with the foster care support agencies, Mission West Virginia, Chestnut Mountain Ranch, other social necessary providers around the state. So I think that the legislation that's been introduced is important, but equally, if not more important, is it's building on our programs, getting the workforce in place that we need, strengthening that workforce, strengthening the families, and making it so that people, through the economic work that's been done by the governor and the legislature, through creating jobs and opportunities for people, the real solution is to keep families together, keep children healthy, address any mental health and substance use concerns that we have, and avoid the continued reliance upon child welfare and foster care in the future. Thank you, Governor.
Stephen, let me just comment just on one other thing. I just thought about this while Dr. Coben was talking and everything. And I hope you really listened closely to Dr. Coben, because I thought he had a great answer there and great statistics of things that were done and being done to improve things. But Stephen, I got to say just this. I think we passed 333 bills this year. I twice have sent bills up in regard to locality pay for our correctional officers. We didn't get it done. But oftentimes, if you heard what Dr. Coben said, just passing additional bills is maybe just not necessarily always proof that's in the pudding. The reality is just this. Immediately, I moved to put Dr. Clay Marsh, General Hoyer, and Dr. Coben in charge, and they are doing this for nothing. Nothing. Absolutely, we don't pay them a dime. And absolutely, we should be so thankful for the level of expertise that they've given us and all that they do every day. I can never thank them enough. Now, in all the different bills and all the different, discussion and all the different things that we can do, maybe we're doing, maybe we'll do, all those things, we embraced them all. And we stood back and said, we didn't stand back and say, no, that idea's no good. That. All we've said is we just want to make things better. And I've got the best of the best absolutely trying to work to make things better. And all that is, with all that being said, not only are they the best of the best, but they're doing it for free. And we should be very thankful to have them.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Next to Curtis Johnson with WSAZ.
Hey, Governor, thanks so much for taking my question. Last week, Governor, you confirmed meetings had taken place between your staff and DHHR related to a working transition plan in dividing the agency. You vowed to be transparent with that plan and asked for more time to allow Interim Secretary Coben to be present. I see Interim Secretary Coben is there today, so I wanted to follow up. What decisions have been made? Is that plan accessible? And also, how does DHHR plan to communicate with families and providers? And when will those external communications begin?
Dr. Coben, tell us more and everything. I don't think we have the plan completely finalized, but tell us the progress and tell us what's going on there, please.
Sure thing. Well, first, Curtis, appreciate the question. I do want to remind everyone that this transition is a 9-month time frame for the reorganization of the current DHHR into the 3 new departments, which are going to be established in January of 2024. So our goal is to make this happen smoothly in a way that doesn't disrupt any of the services or any of the momentum that we've had over these last several months. And I think that is really important. The other thing that I think is really important is as we go through this transition process, we need to understand the current structure of DHHR is one that's been in place for about 35 years. So it's not a matter of simply flipping the switch and changing it abruptly. We've got a 9-month time frame to prepare for the 3 new departments that will be in place. We have to work very closely with our federal agencies, federal partners, because so much of the funding that supports the programs of DHHR and the future programs of the 3 new departments is done in collaboration with our federal partners. So as we're moving to this new structure, what we're doing is communicating with our federal partners to make sure that we maximize all the federal resources that come into the state. We don't lose any of those resources as we go through the transition process. The other thing to remember is that we're going to be making this transition January of 2024, which is in the middle of the state fiscal year, which creates additional complexities in terms of making sure we communicate and navigate that with our federal partners. We have met with the governor's team. We met last week. We had additional discussions this week. We will continue to have additional discussions as we move forward. But I think what I would like to maybe emphasize is that for individuals who work with DHHR, who work with our programs, that for right now, the points of contact that they have had in the past are the same points of contact that they currently should have. If they have a question, if they have a program issue, it remains the same. As we move through this process, as the governor's office identifies leadership for the 3 departments moving forward, those announcements will be made. And as the reorganization plans further solidify, we will push out additional information to the public and to the media and to all the stakeholders that want that information. There is not a single document master plan that I can provide to you today. This is an iterative process that we're going through, but I think we're making really good progress with the governor and his team. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Curtis. Governor, back to you.
No, thanks, everyone. I hope you see that we surely don't have anything to hide. We're as transparent as we can possibly be. I think Dr. Coben is correct. If we're on a 9-month glide path, we don't want to try to cram everything into a bottle and make a mistake. But at the same time, everyone knows that I'm the most impatient guy in the room. So the faster we can do, and make things better, the faster we're going to do it. So thank y'all so much.